Okay, this is part 2 of the drive. Friday, September 11th. It's 4 p.m. I'm at the little hella spot where they were doing the bark beetle tree logging, and then you see the Edison pole there. They were using this hella spot here to change the electrical poles out, the telephone poles. I'm looking up Mill Creek, up creek, and that there on the right is above Prospect there. That little smoke you see, that's where they saved a bunch of houses in there. And it's looking a lot better today. That's really the only, well, I see something like a 2 ridges over way up high. This is the low stuff right here around the village. It goes up to Wilshire Peak. I talked to the fireman that cut the break over here, the fire break behind the homes right there on Canyon and Prospect. He said it goes up to Wilshire Peak, and we were looking at it. I was looking at it with my binoculars. It's up high over there. And it doesn't look like, well, I guess a little bit on this side burned a little bit. I can't tell if those are dead or burned. I don't think those are burned. It jumped the creek further down by Bear Paw. I don't think it jumped the creek right here. I think that's just dead stuff up there. But now we can actually see better, because when I've been up here before, there's been so much smoke you couldn't even see the hillsides. I talked to Jeff Schaefer. He runs the Forest Falls Facebook group earlier. He said his brother came down off a strike team and gave him a lot of good info from last night. And it's looking a lot better up here. And Edison's going to try and bring in generators Tuesday. There's no power up here. The fire knocked all the telephone poles down. The cell site's down too. The generator, I guess, in fire. Or no, they said it might be it's fiber up to here because it's a little box canyon. So this isn't linked by radio frequency because there's no line of sight. The cell sites talk to each other. They're linked by RF. This one was linked by fiber, because it's kind of a little spur that sticks out here. It's probably linked to the cell site down by the ranger station off of Bryant. But yeah, see that there's this fire right here is burning down. They were talking about just yesterday. Bryant and Canyon and Prospect are looking, at least Canyon over here is looking a lot better. They had a lot of engines in here staged last night. I'm gonna go take a picture of this pump. Yeah, maybe I can do it from here. They got a pump down here in the creek feeding this. Yeah, that's it. Real quick, I'll get this picture. There's not as many engines and stuff up here today. This was all crowded right here. When I came up here yesterday, this was just full of engines and hand crews were up here. This is a drop-off point. You see the water bottles, Gatorade. There's probably propane over here. There's bathrooms. You can wash your hand right there. Wash your hands. And those red things, it's like a big kiddie pool. The round ones that are orange, they call them pumpkins. I'm not sure what they call the red ones. But they fill it up with water. They pump it out of the creek up into those like giant kiddie pools, and then the engine can come in and suck it up into the tank. If not, they got to have a water tender, go get water from a hydrant, or this way they're not lowering the water pressure. They're sucking it right out of the creek. So, and I think those things hold maybe 200-300 gallons, I'm going to guess. A regular city engine holds about 500 gallons. So they can come in here and almost get at least half a tank or maybe more. It looks like it's getting back to normal here because it's sun's out and a lot of the smoke is gone. It was really smoky up here. I've been up here like the last 4 days. In fact, on Thursday I came in here like maybe Sunday or Monday. Oh, it was bad. I mean, that was probably the worst smoke I got here and over on Ukaipa Bench when the fire burned across the bench. was the most smoke I had to eat. This probably more because I was over here longer, and it was thicker smoke. Over there, the cap eventually kind of died down. It raced across there in about an hour, and then it died down. This was socked in for days up here. This is Forest Homes here, the Christian retreat. They've got a lot of like condos where they have their events up here, and like I said, their churches can come up here, rent the place, and have like a retreat. It'd be nice to come up here, you know. It used to be a little smaller place, but they've kind of built out bigger area, or you know, the camp, or I'd call it, I guess. Oh, where are we at? We might go all the way up, but there's really, Wilshire Peak isn't too far above here, because I used to work on top of this ridge on the right, Reynolds Ridge they called it. It was actually Little San Gorgonio Ridge. On the right here, there's a chief there, and he's looking up. They're constantly swiveling their heads, you know, looking. I was going to take you over to where the pond is, where they're dipping, but I don't see anybody. Maybe when I come down, I'll pull off and we'll listen. Yesterday, I was able to film them in there. There was a Sikorsky, or not Sikorsky, a Huey that was filling up. But they're working down by the mouth of the canyon. They got to be working on mile marker 16, because that's a huge plume going up. They call it a header or plume. The PC term is plume now. The old days they call it the old school guys call it header. That's what I call it, which is, I guess, is not PC anymore. There's the post office, and see the cops in there. It's people worry about looting, but there's no way up here. There's eyes on you no matter where you go. Sheriffs, the fire guys, you know, they know who belongs up here or not. And there's the old schoolhouse, and then church. Right here's where I see deer and bear right here. They like to cross right here and come down and get a drink. Yeah, litter wouldn't, they wouldn't last long up here. And I'm trying to think of all the years I've been covering fires, I don't think we've ever, I've heard of looting, you know, and I did looting patrol when I was in the military at the Panorama Fire, but I don't ever remember seeing looting or have it around me. But I have, there'll be reports come in, you know, there's go check out these guys, and most of the time it's a resident or somebody sneaking in to get their cat. But usually neighbors know their neighbors, and like the other day on the Ucaipa bench, I pulled in to take a picture of a burned vehicle, and as I was backing out, here's the fire station here. Fire Station 99, the Forest Baldwin. As I backed out of the driveway, the neighbors came home, and obviously I didn't fit. And I'm in a truck. I've got a light bar, and I've got an ID, a media credential. But she came flying up the window like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, and it was like, "Here's my ID," and I'm taking. And she saw all my cameras, but she still had that war face, you know, like. In her mind, I was probably looting, but it turned out I wasn't. But she had a pretty good war face on. I know where I come from. They'll a lot of places they'll stick a shotgun in your nose. You know, talk to the microphone. That's good though. That's the neighbors watching out, and Costa Mesa there, he might have been a chief. I'll go up a little higher and turn around. I think that's what this guy's doing here. Or he may live there. Yeah, he may live there. We'll see if we can see Wilshire Peak. It's got to be right to our right up here. That's as far up canyon it's burned. Look, now that we can see, you can actually see it better. It's easier to see at night. You can see the red glow. During the day, it's just smoke curling out of the trees, and occasionally you'll see the fire. but it's easier to see during the night. We'll go up to Shannon's house. Shannon, you'll be able to. Shannon's the one up here on the top. She finally got out of here. A lot of people stayed. You know, half the town left. I don't know. A quarter of the people stayed, but when the fire burned down to, there's a bunch of guys here, staged here. When the fire burned down to, actually we're coming up to Shannon's, and we still got 4. When it burned down to Prospect, and it was that Thursday night when it jumped the road, most of the people fled out of here. The ones that were left, well, the sheriff came in here and said, you got to get out of here. Because it was getting ready to once it cuts the road, if it came up the canyon here, there's only one way in. At the end of this is Mill Creek jump off. It's like a wall, an earth wall, and it's hard to it's one of those walls that's all soil. When you climb up 3 steps, you'll slide back down too. It takes forever to get across that or get up on it. But the sheriff came flying in here, and oh, Mr. Squirrel. I couldn't tell what that was. Where you at, Mr. Squirrel? His tail, I thought it was a round piece of metal. His tail was all curled. That's all I could see. I'm gonna stay over there, Mr. Squirrel. I was gonna drive over, thinking it was a piece of metal. It looked like a round, like bicycle wheel or hub, but it was his tail curled in a circle. I couldn't see the backside of him. Sorry about that, Mr. Squirrel. Rattlesnake Creek, that's where I'm at now. And there are a bunch of rattlesnakes up here. If you go hopping around in the creek up here playing, you really got to watch out for the rattlesnakes. They like living under those the rocks. It's nice and cool. Here's the top where it goes to the picnic area. We can go all the way up and turn around. We're above where the fire is, I believe now. You know, it's on my right on the ridge. It's way up top the ridge, but it's getting really cleaned out as far as smoke. My voice is. I need to find my throat lozenges and pop a couple. Yesterday and the day before, the smoke started getting to the eyes are a lot better. My throat's still pretty wasted. The picnic area's up here. I don't know if we can go. Let's go up. If you've never been up here, this is really the only place you can snow play. But this lot gets filled by 8 o'clock. If you're not here by 7:38, you're not getting in. There's a picnic area up above. A lot of people come right here to this parking lot. And there's the big falls, the big waterfall. Here they hike over to the falls. And you really don't want to go up to what they call Blood Rock. There's a reason why they call it Blood Rock. Over here, they get up, they'll climb up the trail. There's a big sign saying don't go any higher. But they will go up above where it says not to go. A lot of them are in flip-flops, they're drinking, and they slip on those slippery rocks, and they fall about 20 feet and crack their heads. They call it Blood Rock. Yeah, see, well, now the forests are all closed. All the forests are closed. In fact, let me get a picture of that sign. I don't know if I can do it with... I'll be right back. I'm going to hop out and get this picture of the forestry. And here's a good shot. As I turn here, you can see this smoke. You see the smoke on the left right here. This is about as high as it's gotten in the canyon. That's Wilshire Peak up there. See that those ravine, those drainages right there? That's about the highest, the furthest up canyon it's gotten right there. But see how it's high up on, excuse me, that left one's way up. That middle and right smoker kind of working their way down. But yesterday and the day before, actually we couldn't see them. You couldn't even see up the slope. All you could see was a little bit around the road down here. Now you got a better view of what's going on up there. Picnic areas, but it's all, the problem is this is national forest here, and they've closed it. Hopefully, I heard something in the September, but there's, that all the national forests in California are closed. That's a lot of hiking and picnic areas, and it really sucks. This is closed in, and San Bernardino National Forest, it goes all the way up to Idlewild, over to Wrightwood, all this up here. So you can't picnic, you can't hike, no RVs, no OHV, motor off-road, the dual purpose, which really, but see how steep this is on my left? This is where they're getting the boulders. See how steep that is? And you'll see some of the boulders that have come down. Jeff Saver, I saw a picture he was talking about next to his property, and the boulder's as big as a VW. I guess it came down years ago. But it this is all what they call alluvial fan. All this debris comes down these drainages and kind of spreads out like in a fan shape. They call it alluvial fan. There's some guys here look like they got hose around this house here. Let's see if I can get a picture of them.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
How are you?
I brought the ice cream.
You brought the ice cream?
I actually have a cooler that'll do it. One of those plug-in ones, Yeah. But I don't have the ice cream.
No worries, brother. Thank you.
If I step on the what is it, the air horn?
Yeah.
That's ice cream.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times.
Yeah. Where do you live?
I'm a Redlandser.
Oh, okay.
Paparazzi.
Nice.
Come up the. It's looking a lot better, huh?
Yeah, a lot better. We're just an in-case thing. Just in case.
Just in case? Standby to standby?
Yeah.
Where you guys out of?
Mother Nature's gonna do.
Them gnats, well, them gnats are...
Fucking drive me crazy.
I've got some control release. I don't know if it'll do you any good.
Dude, I did like 100% DEET this morning, and they're like sucking on it.
They like that juice, huh? I saw the...
Talk to an ancient Indian or something and have them give me some kind of...
I seen the locals down there where they're dipping they come walking up, they got those big beehive, or what do you call them, beekeeper things.
Right.
I tried to buy one. I'd rather have
them bite my face off and wear one of those.
I know, you look like a dork, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Big, oh, here comes the pussies.
Yeah, it did look kind of funny.
Yeah. I took one down the throat earlier. I thought I was going to choke to death.
Yeah, those damn deer gnats are... And normally it's deer season. I'd be up here with a bow running around, but... They close all the forest off. Are you guys out of Brea?
Brea, yeah.
I see your little patch there.
Yeah, Orange County.
Orange County. Up here with the strike team?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You guys are doing a bang-up job.
Yeah, thank you. We did that little burn operation, and the fire was coming this way, and right at the 38 U-turn right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, we stopped it there, pushed it back that way so it wouldn't come down here. So now we're just worried about coming over the top because there's really nothing.
This is about as far up as it's gotten, right? Right here?
Yeah. But they're going to bring in some heavy aircraft tomorrow and hopefully phos-chek the shit out of it.
Oh, really? There you go. Get that ridge all...
Yeah, that's what they're worried about.
Paint that ridge?
Yeah. Because even if they don't get it to there, it's just going to back down that ridge. It ain't going to come down with any force unless wind blows it down,
I was down yesterday at where they're dipping. There was a fireman there that he was the one that cut that around Prospect. And I kept hearing, I said, you hearing that? And he goes, yeah, those are boulders. I was like, those are big boulders. Yeah. And I was like, you guys are over there underneath that? He goes, yep.
Yeah.
I was like, holy mackerel.
That's why I would tell my guys, hey, get behind me.
Get behind me.
Well, it's a courageous thing to say last minute, so when we all die, it's like, at least I said it.
He protected us.
Yeah.
For about a half a second.
Yeah. I'm still contemplating when they have attitudes of actually throwing them in front of me, like a soft block.
Tie him to a tree.
Yep.
Duct tape in here. Here, we'll sacrifice you. The mountain gods will, oops.
I got you.
I used to work up there on top on the comp site, and we'd hear those boulders, the snags would let loose, and it would shake the ground. And then we'd see the dust flying. It was like, holy shit. Look out below. Is he coming this way?
No, he's going to go that way, sir.
Big old brush engine. Get a picture of these guys. They're up here, like you said, they're just in case. But that's good. They're going to bring in that phos-chek.
Yes.
But I'm going to stop it here. That's 21 minutes. I'm going to read. This is part 2. The end of part 2. I'm up here at the top of Rock Drive and Valley of the Falls. Let me close the window here where I can. Everything looks good up here. It's way up the ridge above us on the left. So that's the end of part 2. I'm in Forest Falls, Valley of the Falls, and Rock Drive. This is a Brea strike team on my left. Talking to the captain there. So I'll start part 3 right after this. Thanks for watching. See ya.